Hello dear teachers, welcome to another episode of The Better Teacher, where we discuss a lot of relevant topics and relevant questions. And whom do we discuss with? Someone with a wealth of knowledge and wealth of experience in the field of education. He's been a teacher himself, none other than Balasa. So thank you so much for being here again. Sir, The Better Teacher is of course an initiative and a series by Teacher Tribe, and we try to address as many questions as possible. And today we have a question or a topic that I think is actually applicable across all professions, but let's focus on teachers alone. Is the education system today haunted by learned helplessness?
Well, it's a very important question. When you use this term, I am reminded of the proponent of the term, Martin Seligman, who is called the father of the positive psychology, when he described about the learned helplessness. Sometimes all of us, whatever field we are, we always think, number one, this is all required. This is not possible for me. I cannot achieve anything more. So we are conditioned to certain things, and our mind has a peculiar capacity to make patterns. And once these patterns are made, the comfort level of these patterns makes us restrictive of our growth, right? For example, when I started learning computer, I was 37 years old. Probably I'm talking about 1979, 1980. Right? People told me, you cannot learn computers because you are a chemistry person and not a mathematics person. If you are to learn a computer, you need to learn mathematics. But I dared to, right? I always believe that as Descartes used to say, man is born free, but everywhere is in chains. So sometimes others don't chain us. We ourselves chain us because we are haunted by fear, we are haunted by insecurity, we are in a comfort zone, and we believe that we should not get into a competitive racing and then spend our energy. There are so many reasons for this learned helplessness. And he gives a beautiful example of an elephant being tied in a temple, right, by a rope. That elephant has all the kind of energy to break open the rope and run, but it is trained in the mind, I am tied. And that's one problem. Most of us in teaching, we believed, I am an MA B.Ed, I am an MSc B.Ed, and I think my comfort level is okay, I can teach. But that's also a kind of learned helplessness, the feeling that this is sufficient, right? I think it's time that teachers come out of the shackles of self-provided chains, and they come out and then they see a world which is engaging, active, progressive, dynamic, and where their existence, their future will depend upon their ability to move ahead. So, learned helplessness is a kind of a mental inertia that we impose on ourselves. And I think that both as individually and collectively, I am not talking of learned helplessness of individuals. There are institutions which commit themselves to harmfully learned helplessness. So I think it's time we liberate ourselves, become a part of a changing world.
Okay. So since we are talking about the education system being haunted about learned helplessness, who do you think are the contributors to this learned helplessness?
Well, to say that he is responsible, she is responsible, there could be a couple of them, but I think mostly I'll put the individual himself or herself on the front line, right? The most important thing is it's a self-infliction. It's a punishment that we give to ourselves, underestimating our own competency, underestimating our own, sometimes, societies. For example, in my days, people used to say, higher level engineering, not for girls. Mathematics, not for girls. These were a kind of social mindsets that we have broken everything, right? And I think that's what it should be, right? So the question is, A society can contribute to a learned helplessness. A family can contribute to learned helplessness. An institutional head can contribute, because there is a very interesting tendency in many schools that the leaders don't want their followers to, or the staff with them, to excel than what they are. That somebody else could be much better than me. These are all, there are so many factors that, but I think the final responsibility, lies with every individual, right? Whether it's a teaching profession or any other profession. The ability to run a race, the ability to run an extra mile, and the ability to be a part of a learning community. Today we don't talk of learning individuals, but we talk of learning communities, learning societies. So you have got to be a vibrant member of the learning society. I think that's the message of the future.
So, we just established that learned helplessness is self-punitive. How can a teacher get out of it?
It's something, a teacher has to feel that, look at the student and feel, I'm a student. Because the moment you look at the student, you feel he is aggressive about his learning, he is curious about learning, he is researching about learning. When a student learns, I think that I have to be a part of that learning process. I think whether it's teaching or any other profession today, to say that it is not possible for me, it is not my cup of tea, I thought so, all these things are comments and observations you pass on yourself. All these are born more out of fear, right? And rather sometimes it also born out of your fear to expose yourself before others. So nothing wrong to say I don't know, nothing wrong to say I have not learned this, but the desire to learn, the desire to move a step. And as or I forgot his name, who fought for the liberation of US, right? Martin Luther King. Thank you very much. Martin Luther King used to say a very famous thing: if you cannot fly, then run. If you cannot run, then walk. If you cannot walk, then crawl. Right? What's important is that you are moving. I think learned helplessness is the spirit which keeps you moving. It doesn't matter, you don't have to compare how much you have learned. I think it is a spirit of dynamism.
I think that's beautifully put. Keep moving, and learned helplessness, or getting over learned helplessness, is by understanding the spirit of keeping, and how you move on, and you don't stop doing that ever. Thank you so much, sir. Well, dear teachers, we learned about learned helplessness today, and we have another topic in store for you, an interesting topic, a two-part topic actually. We'll come back with that in our next episode of The Better Teacher, and we hope to see all of you there in the next episode. So you take care.